Now I'm going to receive, I'm expecting the following. You've been waiting for this video. I was telling you I'm going to do a comparison between hybrid dairy cow and then hybrid goats. So we are going to discuss a few things, but really I want you to listen very well. You do your calculations. I do expect your compliments, and then we discuss it out. Yeah, now one hybrid cow that I'm going to talk about as compared. So what I'm going to look at today is the cost of investment as compared to the outputs or the profits that you expect to get, because whichever business we do it just because we need profits. So here is my take, here is my experience. You're also free to also complement according to your experience. I want to use, I want to use the same amount of money, almost the same amount of money to do the same business in cows and also in goats. And then we see how much profits it can bring. So we are going to look at one animal that can produce at least 20 liters. This is my take. I said a hybrid dairy cow, you can buy it 5 million. The one that can produce 20 liters per day. Hope you believe me, or you agree with me or disagree with me. I'm looking at the highest end of costing and the best animal, the one that can produce 20 liters per day. So in the requirements that we need, first of all, is the capital to buy the animals. Secondly, is the capital to build the structure. This is what is required in that structure. I'm looking at a standard structure of a dairy cow, one cow. In that section, I'm looking at the spraying yard or treatment crush on that house. I'm looking at the sleeping cubicle. I'm looking at the feeding cubicle. I'm also looking at the chaff cutter area. I'm also looking at the milking parlor. Those are 3 things that, so not 3, around 5 things that we need on that house. We also have to have a calf pen on that house. So to build that house very well in a standard way, you'll find that that house which contains all that can definitely cost around 9 million. Believe me or not, or even beyond. So me, I calculated 9 million for that costing. I'm also looking at the genuine, or I'm looking at the core point of this project, which is the feed. Because when you have all that in place, the animal, the good heifer, which you buy 5 million, look at the housing, which can cost around 9 million. So the core point is the feed. An animal, a heifer, can get pregnant and takes 9 months to produce. Then after producing, it will lactate for 7 months. That is the lactation period. So if an animal per day can feed on 40 kgs of silage, that's a very good meal, and it can really help that animal produce more milk. So on average, let's say an animal is eating 40 kgs of silage or maize silage. Let's say silage at 100 shillings. So that means if an animal, we are calculating this to 2 years, because making profits in this project of the cow, you need to get profits in 2 years, because the pregnancy will take 9 months, and then that animal or the calf that is being produced, or the one that was produced, also to sell it, you also need another 9 months or 1 year to also get the same amount of money you bought the mother, which is 5 million. So we are calculating this project on 2 years. So if an animal is eating 40 kgs per day, and it is 40 kgs per day times the number of days in 2 years, which is 720 roughly. That means the 720 days times 40 kgs, that means an animal should have eaten 28,800 kgs of silage. So if you convert that into money, and our silage, a kilo, is at 100 shillings, so that means we are looking at an animal eating, the list is 2,880,000. That is its meal. Sorry, I'm not going to calculate the costs of the babies, their feeding and management. I'm calculating what can an animal give us, and also the same for the goats. I will not calculate it. I'm just going to calculate for the mother stock and what it can give us. So basically, our animal has also eaten 2,880,000. So another cost that can be involved in that is some drugs, you know, an animal gets sick and so on. So I'm calculating 400,000 for that. And I'm also calculating a worker. If you're paying a worker 400,000 that is feeding that animal, catering for everything, that means that worker is being worked on for two years, and you're paying him to 100,000. That means that farmer, that worker is getting 2.4 in 2 years. So let's also look at the total cost of investment that we need in this. We are looking only on special things, crucial things, though there is more other expenditures that get involved, but these are the core things. So that means in total, if we look at 5 millions, 9 millions, 2.880, then 400,000 for the drugs, also look at the 2.4. So the total of all this that you can invest in a cow project is 19,680,000 shillings. So that is what we can invest in an animal. So that is a standard farm. So we are going to look at, after investing this 19,680,000, what is the expected revenue in that? The expected revenue in that, we are looking at, if an animal is producing 20 liters of milk per day, times the lactation period is 7 months. So 7 months can round off to 220 days. So that means that animal is giving us 20 liters times 210 days in 7 months, which is the lactation period. That means that animal should have given us 4,200 liters of milk in the lactation period. So that means we shall do the 4,200 liters times the average cost of a liter per day is 1,000. So that means that animal will give us 4,200,000 as profits in those 2 years. So in actual sense, we also have our calf. Remember, it has grown, and it's a hybrid between the hybrid mother and the hybrid artificial insemination service. That means that animal is super high quality, so we can as well sell it also in 1 year, and we sell it 5 million. So in total, the total revenue, if you add the milk that is given to us, and you also add on the calf that is given to us, so that means in 2 years, that animal will give us profits of 9,200,000. Remember, I've not added on other stuff on that. I have not added other stuff on that. I have calculated that in that way. So the same way, I want to give you the calculation for goats, also using the same amount of money. So given the same amount of money, I'm looking at the goats. So in that, in those millions, like 19 millions or something, or 20, I'm going to look at 21 goats, 25, sorry. So the requirements for the goats, we are looking at the house, we are looking at the feeds, we are looking at the genetics. So in that case, this is what we need. Let's say we buy 25 goats and at 400,000 and one male of 1.5. That means we shall need around 11,500,000 to buy the stock. So that money, add on the house. The house for the 25 goats, I think it can cost around 3 millions. Also look at it, and then look at the worker, can cost the same amount of money, 2.4 in 2 years. But look at what a goat can eat. I told you recently we calculated that the requirements for a goat to stand, we look at the feeds, we look at the drugs, we look at the worker, you get, and the acaricide that we use to spray, roughly. So if we add, we said the acaricide, we can use a acaricide of 1,800 or let's say 2,000. We said the dewormer of 1,200 in a year, and we also said feeds of vaccine of 20,000. We also said feeds of 50,400 and drugs of 10,000 and a worker of 4,000. So roughly, we said a goat, to bring up a goat for 1 year, it will need to give you, you will need to have 77,409. So if we do that amount, the 409, which is bringing up a goat per day, per year, sorry. So each goat per year, we multiply it by 25, then we have 1.9 something, and then times 2, because we are looking at 2 years. So that means to bring up a goat in 2 years, to bring up 25 goats. Remember, we did not calculate the costs of we did not calculate the cost of the calf, the drugs of the calf. Even here, we are not going to go through the offspring that is being produced. So that means we shall need this money, the 25 goats, to be there for 2 years, for feeding and everything, drugs and everything. They will need 3,870,450. 70,450. So that will be the cost that we shall need to maintain in the feed, drugs and everything for 2 years of 25 goat. So if that is the case, let's look at the profitability